keeping myself busy, play a little game, write myself a riddle, or play the piano, singing lots of nonsense, but singing just the same. Singing, singing, singing just the same. Singing, singing, singing just the same. Okay, hello everyone. If you're here, say hello. I'd love to hear from you. Hi, welcome. Hi, Cecilia. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Heather Powers from Humble Beads, and I am so glad you're here today. I'm finally feeling like my normal self and getting back into the swing of things. Hello, Susan and Heather. Welcome, you guys. So it's snowy here, which just puts me in like the best mood ever. I know, it's an illness. I can't help it. It just excites me so. I just keep looking out my window at it. It makes me feel very creative too, because the little elf in me like starts to come alive this time of year. And what kind of gifts do I want to make for people? And also, guys, we're getting ready for a really cool event this week with some of my friends from the Great Bead Extravaganza. Let me pull this out. Oop, not that one. There we go. We are doing the Great Bead D-Stash on Friday. And so this is, we have 8 of our group that are going to be joining us, and each of us are have something fun and exciting pulled from our studios that we're going to be sharing with you guys, and all sorts of little treasures for the day. And so this is a really big event that I hope you guys will come to the party. There's going to be 8 of us, 8 live sessions, and endless inspiration for the day. I cannot wait. Hey. Yes, Wendy, I'm afraid our snow's going to melt really quick too. It never lasts long in Michigan the first time around. Hi, Megan. Nice to see you here. Okay, if you guys are here, say hello. Wait until the end of the video because I will be sharing, or not sharing, doing a little giveaway for you guys. But I am going to be sharing some fun little tips for working with these little guys. So let's turn the camera around real quick. I'm going to pull my camera down so that it's in front here. There we go. Make sure we are all set and ready. Hi, Margaret from Northern California. I bet you have absolutely no snow. Sometimes in Michigan we get snow early, and sometimes we don't get snow at all. It's just always you just never know what's going to happen. All right, so let's talk about these cute little acrylic leaves that I have. I don't know. I picked them up from a bead vendor a long time ago, and I just have piles and piles of them in my studio. And so I pull them out every once in a while and see what I can do with them. They're inexpensive acrylic leaves. I have little flowers and bigger leaves and pendants, all sorts of fun things. So, I got to do something fancy with them. We're going to do 2 different treatments. We're going to do these little frosted leaves, and then I have some coppery autumn ones that we're going to do. And there's a mix of the frosted and the copper together. So you can see you can get a lot of different shades from those really, well, not that these are bright colors, but it really elevates it going from the simple one color, which is pretty on its own, to the more complex painted designs. It really makes them more artisan. And so I think those work out really nicely paired with art beads. Of course, I'm going to be sharing with Humble Beads, polymer clay beads, but they would also look really nice with lamp work or ceramic. And the nice thing about the leaves is that they're super, super lightweight. So you can pair them up with a heavier bead. Not that lampwork beads are terribly heavy or ceramic, but they're just a little bit heavier. And making them with polymer clay, you will have a light as a feather. Sherry, welcome to Facebook. That's awesome. I'm so excited for you. So glad you're here. Oop. I said Sherry. To unlock your iPad first. Excuse me. Siri thought I was talking to her. Or him. All right. So, I'm so glad you could join us. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Debbie. Kathy and Gloria. I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay, so there's a few things you can do. Oh, let me remove that banner. There's a few things we can do to elevate inexpensive charms. One is simply to add art beads to them. And then after they're painted, of course, you could do them with the plain beads, but just adding a little tiny touch of paint. And guys, it really is just a tiny touch of paint. I'm going to show you what I do in just a second. And you've really made a cute little artisan pair of earrings instead of just having little acrylic charms. So this is what we're going to be making. I'm going to show you guys two variations of earrings. Super fun and easy. And I'm going to show you guys the painting treatment. I also happen to thought they looked cute. I wanted something in front of them, so I just used a little tiny 6mm jump ring, a twisted jump ring, and so it let the color shine through, but it gave us, you know, a little bit of texture and something to play with on top of the leaf too, without hiding any of its painted gloriousness. So without further ado, let's pull out. I'm going to pull out a little baggie to paint on. I just use disposable. I always have a little leftover pair of ones that were kind of gunked up when we were packing orders, so, or leftover from orders that we've unpacked. And so I'm going to use my little recycled plastic bag. You're going to need a paintbrush. And what I'm using today are Ultimate Paints from Vintage. These become permanently part of the surface that they're painted on, so you don't have to do any extra treatments to it. Once it's on, you don't have to do any sealant, although I am going to show you a little trick with the Renaissance wax to make their surface just a little more humble beadsy. Christine, the metallic leaves are so much fun, aren't they? So to do the metallic leaves, I use Nouveau Silver. And then I'm going to show you guys, I'm really loving, they have this Ultimate Stain, which is a really pretty matte stain that you can use on surfaces. And this is elderberry. And you got to shake these guys up really good. That's the trick of them. And then to do the copper, Dragon Eye. Isn't that cool? It's like the prettiest copper color I've ever seen. Just really beautiful, really intense copper color. So those are the three Ultimate Paints I'm going to be using. And to do the silver ones, we're going to paint the backs first. And then so this will give a little bit of a mirror effect. Can you see the light kind of like shining through and reflecting off the back of the leaf? So that's what we're going to do first with these little guys. And I'm going to do this first because it's going to need two coats. So I'm going to take these little green ones. Get these really shooken up. The paint will tend to separate if they're not shook up. And good thing it gives me a few seconds. What I did first is I took some 400 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to go over the surface lightly, just to give it some tooth for that paint to adhere to. On the copper leaves, I didn't paint those on the back. You could try it and see what kind of effects you get, but I knew I was going to be covering up more of the front. And on the silvery ones, I only covered up half of the front so that the silver part shows through. And this just takes a second. You just want to get a nice even sanding all over the back of the surface. And again, this is to rough up the surface so that your paint will stick to it. Hi, Ruth. I'm so glad to see you here. Okay, and now I'm going to take that paint and just do one coat. I need a little more paint. So you're going to do one coat. It's not very opaque for the first coat, so you're going to let this dry and then do a second coat. And the paint just washes off with water. So I just have a little thing of water here and a baby wipe to wipe my brush off. And now I'm going to work on the coppery ones while the first layer of that one dries. So let's do these ones, because I think these ones are probably the most what do I want to say, the most dramatic of the transformations. And so we're going to first do the elderberry stain on here to darken the veins of the leaves. And so I'm going to do just a little drop over here. Having the baby wipe handy helps because your fingers will get messy with this. So I'm going to do a coat over the whole surface, a nice even coat, and then I'm going to wipe off a little bit of it. I don't want to lose it out of the veins of the leaf, but I want the color of the leaf to show through. So let me get that up close so you can see. So it's in the veins, but not, and wiped a little bit off the surface, although it does change the color. Gives it a nice muted shade here. I'm just going to use my fingers so I don't wipe off too much. Okay, so there's my pieces. I'm going to darken it up just a little bit more where I had wiped too much of it off. Okay. Let me see, I'm going to turn up my lights a little. Okay, so you want to rinse your brush out every time because the paints dry pretty quickly and they will mess up your brushes. Okay, just hurry up. And now what I did with the copper, or not copper, dragon's eye. Let's make sure we what we do with that. Yeah, Heather, this ultimate paint, Vintage does so many wonderful tutorials on their Facebook page. Please check them out and watch some of their awesome tutorials. This is one of my favorite paints in the studio because you can use it on any material, polymer clay. I'm going to go over the whole little surface. Polymer clay, plastic, metal, of course metal, because that's what Vintage uses it for. I'm going to take a little bit off. Okay, I'm going to concentrate mostly on the edges here. That's what I did. Although I do like just a little bit of across the whole surface. You know, I like a little bit of sparkle. Not a lot, just a little. I was thinking just like those few little gray hairs that are sparkling on my head. Hi, Stacy, from the Florida Keys. And you're cold down there. Oh no. I know, it's unseasonably cold weather across the states, isn't it? Okay. So these little guys, I'm going to let that dry, but that's all I did for the copper ones. Just did the ultimate stain first in the elderberry, which is a purple, but it works really well. You could also get a dark brown if you wanted to. I like the purple. It adds a little bit of a richness to the colors, and it worked on all of the colors that I had here too. And again, I'll pull those out while the other ones are drying. So here's copper on the purple, more copper. I was playing around if it made a difference if I did copper first and then the purple, but I liked the ones that had the purple first and then copper on top. And then here are the silver ones. I used all of my green ones, so I just have one little green one there. And then we have the silver ones. I painted a little too much on those ones, so we're going to talk about that in a minute. Then we have the peachy colored, well, I guess they're kind of orangish red. I mean, it's such a big difference between the two by the time you paint them. And then we have, which ones are these? Oh, yeah, this is same color. I'm losing my mind there a little. Same color, but with the purple and copper. And then we have brown. The brown looks really pretty. It was just like a plain Jane brown. And it really makes a big difference when we did it with the copper. But look what happens when we did it with the silver. Isn't that beautiful? What a difference. So I really like the silver leaves, probably because there's snow on the ground. But I really like their effect. So I'm going to pretend we did a second coat on these because I want to show you guys the technique. So we're going to do a second coat after this one dries completely, but for the sake of the video, I am not going to do that second coat right now. And I want to do the technique where I'm painting just on the edges of the leaf and not in the center. And you can build up the color, so if it's too light after it dries, you can add another layer on there of the silver. And painting just on the edges and doing a little bit more on the bottom quarter of the leaf. I want the green on the top to show through. And that's all I do for those. That's it, guys. I just take one little swipe of paint across and they're done. I'm going to let those dry, and then my last little secret is Renaissance wax. And you just put barely any on your finger and then tap it on. And what this does is it's going to restore that matte finish of the acrylic a little bit, but also it helps the painted and non-painted surface kind of feel like they're one surface instead of the difference between the painted part and the non-painted part. You don't have any edge or anything of where you painted. So that's my last little step that I do, is add just a little tiny coat of Renaissance wax for aesthetic purposes only. You don't need the Renaissance wax to seal the charms. It just helps restore some of the matte finish that's on the top of the bead and helps the surface kind of even out a little bit. So that's my charms. And now let's make some earrings. I have two types for you. We're going to do these wire loop ones, which I wanted to have a little length to these ones. And also, even though this earring is like over 2 inches, almost 3 inches long, it is so super lightweight, which I love about polymer clay and these little acrylic charms. The whole earring weighs nothing. You'll forget it's on, except it will hit you in the face. But super cute, easy earrings. We're going to do those. And then I'm going to do one more just simpler style with the check glass beads. So let's get out the brass wire. I'm really digging this brass wire from Vintage. It's natural brass wire that's been antiqued. It's a really great finish. And the finish is more varied. It just has like a really nice organic texture to them. Thank you about the gingham beads. If you guys are wondering, those are in the Humble Beads shop. I had like 6 sets left before I started today's show, so there might be a pair or two left there. Okay, and I'm going to do these with my silver ones, and I'm going to pair them up with some little orangey beads. And I think for the top, I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to do the green. Very harvesty, Thanksgiving dinner kind of pair. And I added 2 little flower bead caps, and then I'll have those 2, what do I want to call them? Jump rings. Some days my brain, words just escape me. Okay, this is about a 5-inch piece. Yes, Natalie, this is such a great way to update some acrylic charms, pendants, and findings that you have, or not findings, components. Okay, we're going to make a large loop. Open that up. We're going to slide on our charm. And this charm, the paint dried through the loop, so I just had to poke that through a little. Okay, we're going to close it up, grab hold, and twist 2 times tightly. And then we're going to do another, I think I'm only going to get one more time on top. I know, guys, it's just part of being this age, isn't it? Oh, goodness. Okay. I like to think it's because I have so many words to get out that they all get kind of messed up in there. Okay, so there's my little brambly wire wrap that I like to do. And now we're going to throw on the disc bead. This bead cap, and then my little olive spacer. I'm going to bend this slightly over to the right. Is that right? I guess it's left. And I'm going to curve this a little bit with my finger. You can use a pencil. I have these bail making pliers that I'm going to use. But this is like the size of a skinny marker or a fatter colored pencil. I want to say it's about maybe 10 millimeters wide. So I'm going to go about 1.5 inches, or maybe it's just 1 inch. Probably have to pull out my ruler. Ooh, I went a little too short that time. I'm going to unbend that because I want it to be a little bit longer. I want there to be some drama. No drama in my life, only in the beads. Okay, and I'm going to just form that a little bit more to the shape that I'd like. There's a little bump there, so I'm going to put my pliers on it and give it a squeeze to smooth that out. And I'm liking this. I probably want it to be a little bit skinnier. So I just pressed it together. Okay, and now I'm going to hold on to the bottom here. Make that a little bit longer. And hold on to the bottom. And we're going to wrap it around 1 time, 2 times, and I think that's all I can get on there. Yeah, 2 times. 2 times it is. There we go. I'm going to straighten this up a little bit in the back. It's looking a little outrageous there, Heather. Hi, Sherry. Nice to see you here. Yeah, you guys can watch the replay anytime. Okay. That's looking good. Now we're going to take the bench block. I'm going to put that on the end. And I'm going to move you just a little bit up. And we're going to hammer. This is a steel bench block, ball peen hammer. We're hammering with the flat side evenly over the whole surface. And then I'm going to flip it over. Working evenly. And one more time. Okay, and the reason we hammer is it looks pretty, but also it work hardens the wire so that it doesn't move around on you. And now I'm going to take an ear wire and slap that on. And then this earring is ready for your day of making pumpkin pies or your Thanksgiving dinner. Quick and easy. Also a fun little project to do if you guys like to do group projects at Thanksgiving, which I like to do. Okay. Now, I'm not going to make the other one because you guys can imagine. What I do, though, is pull out the ruler and measure this distance so that I know on the other wire to start at that distance when I do the curve. Or you can eyeball it, but I'm not as good at eyeballing. So the next one, we're going to go a little less with the metal and a little more with the check glass bead. So I'm going to use just a little wobble. And if you guys ordered last week, this is what we put in all of your orders of $50 or more. We put a little leaf and a wobble combo for you. And I think we'll do that again this week too. So if you place a $50 order, we'll put a leaf and a wobble pair for you guys to make your own earrings. So I'm going to add my wobble. This check glass, I got that from my friend Cassandra from Beads to Live By. Oh, I forgot to put the jump ring. You would put the jump ring on there. You guys can imagine how that was done. I just opened it up and threw it on the bottom. I'll do it on this one though. Knew I was forgetting something. Okay, this one, same thing. It's just a regular everyday earring that we all love to make. You know, this time of year, I like to have just one or two styles of earrings that I make over and over again, but just replace the components. So I would do a little charm with an art bead and a bead cap and a larger check glass bead, and I would just do it in different colors, use different charms on the bottom. You could also do this with the disc beads, whatever artisan beads you'd like to use. And so instead of spending all your time figuring out what you're going to make, you just mix and match your components and you can whip out a lot of different earrings at once. Especially helpful if you're doing a lot of gifts for people, or if you're getting ready to do a holiday show in the next week or two. That's my favorite way to work. Yes, Kathy, you do have all the items to make these little guys. Okay, now I'm going to slide on the bead cap. Oop, I'm going to put that down towards the art bead. And then my beautiful check glass from Beads to Live By. I don't know if I mentioned that Cassandra owns Beads to Live By. So that's going to be my bottom. I'm going to do this one front to back too because I'm going to be using a jump ring before I put on the ear wire. Not the best loop, but I'm working under the camera. They don't always turn out. Okay, I'm going to wrap around twice. And then 2 more times to give me a thicker wrap on the top here. And I do that purely because I like the way it looks, which is why I do most things. Okay. I want to make sure I have that pushed all the way down. Okay, and now on the top here, I'm going to use one of these hammered jump rings. And throw on my ear wire. And here I've given myself a little bit of length, a little bit of openness so I don't have that big clunky bead next to my head. And isn't that a cutie? So sweet and fun. And so, yeah, you can go to town making earrings, and you can see all 3 of these are the same formula. I did the little bigger loop on these ones, but it's all basically the same formula, using the same components, just in different colors and slight variations. So great way to work. Let's do a giveaway real quick, because I know that that's super fun. So I'm going to add, hi. I'm going to add this to the stage while I grab our giveaway here. Oh, 1 second. All right, getting ready to pull this up. And we are going to do hashtag leaf with all caps. Sorry, not all one word. All caps, hashtag leaf. And I will put that on our page here. So hashtag leaf, I'm going to do a $30 giveaway. Yes, there we go. Ooh. Yeah, there's my big head. So yes, hashtag leaf. Put that in. We're going to do a $30 giveaway in just a second. Again, I want to remind you guys of the great bead de-stash that's happening. I'm going to be starting out the party at 9 o'clock on Friday. Super early. I know, for those of you who are on the West Coast, we just had to pick what would work the best for our whole team. And it just so happened that that was the times that worked the best for everybody to get through the weekend. Oh, Cecilia, please email me at humblebeads@gmail.com. I'll put that on the screen. Jesse, he's not doing too well with email, so you send them to me and I will take care of you. Well, actually, I think I was supposed to email you. Let me make a note for myself. Oh, I know what it was. I was going to ask you if you wanted it added to your order last week, and I totally forgot. So I will just send you a gift certificate, and you can decide if you want to use it, or if you can just email me back and let me know if you want to have it added to your order or if you want to get some new stuff. So yes, thank you for that reminder. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, now I think we have everyone has the leaf. Okay, you're a brave soul getting up at 5 a.m. Yeah, so now you have something fun to look forward to. We're not quite 5 a.m. What is it? 6 a.m. on Friday. That's when we're starting. Okay, let me pick a winner. Add that to the screen. Kathy Reganetti, you are the winner, Kathy. And let me put my email on here for you, so you can email me and we will send out that gift certificate. Da-da-da. And so that's for a $30 gift certificate. Humblebeads@gmail.com. Cecilia, I got you. Not to worry. And then Kathy, you are the winner. Woo! Congratulations. Thank you guys for joining me today. Let's see. Put myself. I really appreciate having you guys here. We'll see you on Friday. I'm going to be sharing what I have for sale. I'll be talking about some stories, some bead lore, Humble Beads bead lore. It's going to happen. So it's just going to be a fun, chatty little break with each of us, a little studio visit with your favorite people. So it's going to be super fun. Thank you guys. I will see you on Friday. And then again, next week for another Bead Table Tuesday. I have a fun little necklace with a Green Girl Studio pendant that I'm excited to share with you guys. If you like the little gingham beads, they're at humblebeads.com, along with, we have all sorts of fun stuff. But we will include, again, in the $50 or more orders, wobbles with a little pair of the charms for you to play with. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me, too. I really appreciate it, you guys. Bye.